Loveland Magazine TV videos are brought to you by the generous support of MoveToLoveland.com.
Just a couple of things addressing real quick on. So the three of us are at all the BZA meetings. I can't answer for the other committee who's there, but we have to schedule something with all three of our schedules to make sure that we're all here. So if somebody's out of town for 2 weeks, things get pushed back. I forget what the reason for this one is. And then we have to submit it with something in the newspaper 10 days before. So there is a small window. And for the, I would say that we're very pro-building in general. Mr. Osborne would probably attest to that. The, you guys have anything?
I wanted to clarify, to the Hills, so have the Hills seen the minutes, the draft minutes?
Yes, they were part of the packet, so I'm assuming you've seen the draft minutes. Okay. Well, the draft minute.
Packet only. You can look for the packet only.
I thought you meant the notification we got 10 days later.
Meeting packet has, so the public meeting packet has the draft minutes from the from the historical commission meeting. So one of your concerns tonight is you didn't get clear feedback about what the problems were. They're spelled, I'm looking at them, they're spelled out pretty clearly here.
Okay.
And to summarize it, which, when you look at it, you got a street, you have kind of the downtown business district, and then there's the new streets, the parking lot, and then you kind of have the houses over there. The concerns, and I'm just summarizing what's in here, so I'm not trying to add any new opinion to this, is that it doesn't fit. It's taller, it's multifamily versus single family. It's a very different proposal than what's there. I think what's in the minutes that I've read and I prepared, or as I got ready for tonight, and I listened to the feedback. A lot of the people who spoke tonight spoke at the last meeting as well. I've been sort of checking off the names as people have gone on. The feedback has been pretty consistent, and a lot of the folks that were here tonight cited the specific ordinances that they, as they were speaking. So in terms of feedback, I think the feedback has been provided. I understand what you're saying, and I think it would be frustrating to try to figure out how to do it. So I also live in the historic district, and I've done renovations, and it is hard. So I understand the challenges that you face, but I just want to make sure that you felt like you've been heard, and that what you're asking, I think, is very fair. You have the feedback. The feedback has been published and can be made available to you.
The point I was trying to make, that ACDC, they're under the impression that there's a new historic district. The historic district zoning is not changed. It just has an oversight of appropriateness. So all the setbacks and heights and all that kind of stuff.
If you want him to speak at the podium, I can pick it up. I'm not going to be able to pick up his voice in the minutes.
I want to give you a chance to speak, sir. I think you've earned the right.
I appreciate that.
You've earned the right to speak. But again, just.
The point I was making is that the historic district zoning has not changed with setbacks, heights. None of that's changed. HPPC is now, it's just about appropriateness, which is,
Subjective.
It's super subjective. And so that there is no cottage district. That block is not zoned differently than Paxton's and Ramsey's. It's not zoned different.
It is not.
It's just not. So I'm just saying that out loud. Like, we've got to act like that's, where everybody wants to act like that's a different part of the city zoning, and it's not.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to speak up is to make sure that you know that the feedback had been provided. Because to me, that's the one thing that we owe you, is specifically what the concerns were. That were spelled out, and the reason for the rejection from the historical committee. It's all in the minutes. So when you have a chance, take a look at those. I think that'll spell it out for you.
So you think that we can modify our building plan and get approval?
I think.
I mean, that's
So,
That's
do we
not,
think that?
that's not my
Is it
job.
possible to resubmit it to them? Yes, right?
That's not my,
That's not
my
fair.
job is
That wasn't a fair
appeals, is
question.
just to say that
I
was the, and I understand why you're frustrated, so please, I have empathy for you, but at the end of the day, the decision, they've spelled out why they made their decision. That is clear and does feel fact-based based on the covenants.
Do you think, do you have any sense of the comparison of what got approved between two residential buildings?
My job isn't, that's not what we're.
Okay.
Again, I understand where you have a concern there, but that's not what.
If I can just help clarify, kind of, I think what the disconnect is, just so you understand. In the HPPC guidelines, there's a differentiation between a commercial building and a residential building, okay? The guidelines for residential are different than commercial. So that's just something that, I know you're not on the HPPC board, but that's what they're looking at is, okay, first off, is this residential or commercial? Okay, now I need to look at the guidelines for what's residential and what's commercial. So just to clarify for you.
I just wanted, out of respect for what you've done for the community, make sure that you did get the feedback. It has been, that's it.
But just to clear that up, that wasn't published before the deadline to submit the appeal, right? The meetings aren't published, or the minutes are not published.
They are.
Before the deadline for the.
You're saying, so when we made our appeal, we didn't have any of that?
Correct. So when you made your appeal, you didn't have any of that because they're draft meeting minutes, right? So HPPC has not met since that last meeting. So these are draft meeting minutes that were put into the agenda packet, which was made available. I believe our deadline is 24 hours prior to a meeting to have those published, and those were published within the deadline. Yes.
On our website.
But, so when we made our appeal, we did not have that information.
But now you
But
have
it will be-
You were at the meeting.
You've heard it.
all right.
Do you have anything else?
Chair.
I read this at the beginning, I just want to read it one more time. We are not here to replace our opinions with that of HPPC, but rather to review whether they applied the right standards and followed the proper procedures in reaching their decision based on the appeal that was filed. So, we're just looking at, did they do everything that they were supposed to do? We're not going to just second guess the HPPC. So we just have to just decide between ourselves, were the standards met for that, or were they not?
The biggest thing I'll just say is the difference between residential and commercial. That's, and to make it as simple as possible, the guidelines, the design that you have is beautiful, and I wish it could be replicated in about 10 different places. But what's been proposed is residential, and those two things don't fit. So that's, that just to be completely clear with, that's what I believe the feedback from the people here tonight are, and I believe that's what was attempted to be communicated in the minutes from the meeting. So, I mean, I'll go ahead and I would like to make a motion to deny the approval of this project. Or deny the appeal.
I'll second that.
Mr. Marsh?
Sorry, just real quick, do we need to, actually, I didn't do that. That's enough.
That's sufficient, because what's in front of you is an appeal, an application for appeal, so it's simply, so you're making reference to appeal.
Okay.
Mr. Marsh?
No.
Mr. Keel?
No. I'm denying the appeal. Is that the right answer?
Let's do this. Mr. Long, if you may have him repeat the motion.
Yeah, so real quick, let me just make sure that you know what you're voting on and you're doing correctly. You can affirm the decision of the APPC. You can, why don't we do it this way so you're clear? Why don't you, if you want to deny the appeal and affirm the decision of the APPC, that would be one motion. You could also grant the appeal and reverse the decision of the HPPC. So you can decide amongst that how you want to word that so that you understand what you're actually.
Let me amend my motion to affirm the decision of the HPPC and deny the appeal.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Voting on the, as he worded it, Mr. Marsh?
One more time. Reread that.
So yes is a deny.
So his motion was to affirm the decision of HPPC and deny his request for an appeal to review.
Yes.
Mr. Keel?
Yes.
Mr. Black?
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.